Greetings and salutations. Today we'll look at my top 10 drum plugins of 2025. So first off, this is not drum plugins that necessarily came out last year, okay? So this is just mostly what I used during 2025, my favorite drum plugins, and a couple of honorable mentions. I own about 25 drum plugins all across the range. That's not including, expansions and everything. That's just the actual plugins. So as you can imagine, picking a top 10 can be quite difficult. Now, usually before I buy a drum plugin, I'm very picky and I watch demos, watch videos, listen to drums, like samples of them on their websites and such. And sometimes it takes me a long time to actually make a purchase. So if you don't see a drum plugin that you necessarily like on here, it just means that it might not suit my style, or I just didn't particularly like the sounds. After all, this is my drum list, so let's not get offended by something that I didn't like. So we're going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions. Now, these two are quite old, and yet I'm still using them in 2025 because I think they still have something to offer. The first is Hertz drums. Now, this is the first Hertz drums. There is Hertz drums 2 now, I believe. Hertz Instruments were kind enough to send me a copy of this when they first released it back in 2023. And this has some great features. I do have the white pack, the blue pack, and the red pack. So you get a great range of snares. They do come with some MIDI, which is actually really well played MIDI. So MIDI is quite important to me, as you guys know. It's not the prettiest, and it is starting to show its age a little bit, which is why it's only an honorable mention. So the second honorable mention is Steven Slate Drums 5.5. Steven Slate Drums 5.5 released back in 2020. That's how old it is. But it still comes with an amazing array of drum kits, snare samples, kicks. You get so much in this plugin. I believe they had a sale on not long ago for $50. I would always recommend, if this is on sale, try to pick it up because it's still a great drum plugin, great for samples and stuff. The good thing about it is everything's really modular. So you can, if you don't like the sound of a snare, it's easily just swapped out with another snare and toms, and you can mix and match kits. You can even blend snares, so you can have 2 snares at the same time, almost creating like a Franken snare, which is really good. Again, 2020, and I'm still using it, so that's why it's an honorable mention on this list. Okay, so for the first one, number 10, Fotis Bernardo drums from Stigmatized Productions. This one released back in May of 2024. This is still a solid piece of kit, I tell you. The MIDI grooves that come with it were all played by Fotis Bernardo himself, and they're some of the best MIDI grooves you can get on the market. You get a greater range of cymbals and snares, which I always love. The toms sound killer, and it's just a great general plugin. Number 9, ML Drums. ML Drums is still an amazing sounding plugin. It's very natural sounding compared to the other plugins on this list. And it comes with no MIDI at all, which I think is a missed opportunity on ML Sound Lab's part. The sound quality is so natural, you can't really go past it. Again, it's modular, so you can swap out different kit pieces from other expansions that comes. My favorite expansion is the Yams expansion, which I really love. And this is a very respectable spot at number 9. So as you can imagine, this is a hard list to make. Number 8, Gojira from Mixwave. Now this is Mario Duplantier's kit, and while I want to love this kit, there's certain things about it I just don't like. I'm not a fan of the toms, and the cymbals always sounded really washy to me in this plugin. The kick and the snare are absolutely top notch. I love those. But there's just things about it for me that let it down. Again, it comes with no MIDI. They did do Gojira 2, Mario Duplantier, another one. And to me, it should have been an update, but you know, that's their thing, I guess. I didn't think, from the demos that I heard, I didn't think there was enough of a difference to justify buying a second one when they could have just done a huge upgrade to this one. Number 7 is another Mixwave drum plugin, Brooks Wackerman from Avenged Sevenfold. Now this one I definitely like a lot more than the Gojira one. This one has an awesome array of cymbals. The toms are absolutely top notch in this one. You can't go past the toms on this one for sure. The snares are great. There's not much about this plugin that I don't like. It doesn't come with MIDI. Again, I know I keep bringing that up, but MIDI grooves in a plugin are very important to me, especially when I'm trying to recommend it to people starting out, and that, you know, there's nothing worse than you starting out, you've got an amazing drum kit, but you've got no MIDI grooves to just throw in your songs and stuff. So again, that's always a letdown to me. It's probably one of the reasons some of these drum kits are down on the list, but still a killer plugin at number 7. Number 6, the Fairview kit from RS Drums. This was released in May of 2023, so it is a little bit older, and they have released a couple since. They did send me this kit and the Monarch kit to review on my channel, which I really enjoyed, but out of the two, I really like the Fairview kit the most. It is snappy, the toms are killer. You get 6 toms, which is amazing. That's a massive amount of toms. I freaking love that. Huge array of cymbals. Like the cymbals around the kit is just, you can have such good play, you know, diversity on the cymbals. And it also comes with a small array, but really well played MIDI grooves, which I really like. So definitely a respectable number 6. Now the top 5 was getting really hard because I like all these kits a lot. It made it really difficult to choose. So at number 5 is Deviant Drums from Chaos Tones. Now Jesse from Chaos Tones was kind enough to send me a copy of this to review, and I absolutely love this plugin. It's not something that sits in my mix immediately, but the more you sit with it, find the right kit. It comes with 9 full kits. I mean, that's telling you how much is in here. 15 snares I think it is, but it's just so much in here and it's so in depth that it's just such a great plugin. But you've just got to, in my opinion, sit with a little bit to sit in your mixes better. Well, that's for me anyway. Some people might find it sits perfectly in their mix straight away, but it comes with a great array of presets. It comes with some really weird stuff that almost sounds like, EDM and dubstep and all that sort of stuff, which is really good. A lot of drum plugins don't have that, but this does. It's fantastic. So a very respectable number 5 for Deviant Drums. All right, 4 and 3 were really hard for me because I didn't know which order to put them in, because I love them both and I've been using both of them a lot still, and this was a very hard one. But I'm gonna go number 4, Oderholm Drums. This is a good kit. It's probably the biggest sounding plugin I've ever heard as far as drums go. I've been using it a fair bit in my recent songs, but in saying that, it is a little niche. I don't find it fits well with really fast, thrashy stuff and all that sort of stuff. It's really good for low tuning, heavy stuff. I think that's where it sits the best that's in my opinion. It has a good range of cymbals, but the toms are a bit washed out because of how processed the drum kit is, and the kick is massive. The snare, a little bit reverby. I always try to cut it back a little bit, but again, no MIDI, so I think that's why it dropped to number 4, but I have been using it a lot, so that's why it's where it is at the moment. So the top 3. Number 3 is, of course, EZdrummer 3. EZdrummer 3 is a staple in most people's drum libraries. The good thing about it is, 1, it's pretty to look at. 2, it has that many expansions, you'd be hard pressed not to find something that you like. 3, amazing MIDI. Every pack that you buy comes with MIDI, and you can use it with all the other drum kits and everything like that. And that's important to me because it gives me diversity in my songs. I can, oh, I wonder how this beat works with this, and you know what I'm saying? I can of course build MIDI, but sometimes I like experimenting with different styles and different beat feels, so MIDI is important. This released all the way back in 2022, but the most recent release was only a few months back in November when they released the Infinity Grid Kit, which I did a review on. They're just constantly updating it, which is amazing. So say what you like about Toontrack and EZdrummer 3, but it has its place, and it's an amazing drum plugin. So number 3. Number 2, this one was a surprise for me. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I listened to the demos and I watched a few videos on it, and at first I wasn't a massive fan of the band, but I've come to appreciate them a lot more, and it is Sleep Token 2 from Mixwave. This one I sat on for a little while. I kept looking at it, and I just wasn't sure, but I eventually pulled the pin because they had a sale on in November, so I'm glad I did. This is one of my favorite kits at the moment. I like how poppy the snare is, the toms sound amazing, the diversity in the cymbals is amazing, the MIDI grooves are fantastic, played by Tu himself, which is very unique. Honestly, in my opinion, there's not much to not like about this kit. I mean, it only comes with one kit, comes with multiple snares, but I think it's only 3 snares, but one kit, which is Tu's actual kit. I don't know why I love it so much, but I've been using it a lot, especially in mellower songs. It just sounds amazing, ambient songs and stuff like that. It sits perfectly. So number 2 on my list is Sleep Token 2 from Mixwave. And number 1, I'm sure you were all expecting this because it hasn't changed since last year. Ultimate Heavy Drums from Middletone. I think Josh Middleton somehow got in my head and created me the perfect drum plugin for my music because I love this thing. I can't get enough of it. Pretty much gets more use than any other drum plugin I own. Great range of cymbals, great range of snares, 6 toms, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, if you want some low tom play, beautiful. If you want some high tom play, beautiful. Sometimes I feel limited when kit's only got 3 toms, and 6 toms is great. The kicks all sound amazing. The presets all sound amazing. There's not much I can say about it that I haven't already said last year. So number 1, again, Ultimate Heavy Drums from Josh Middleton. So there we have it, guys. My top 10 with a couple of honorable mentions of drum plugins of 2025. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you've been using the most. I'm always curious to hear what you guys are using. Sometimes I might see something that I want to try out and give it a go. I do have a couple of things on my radar this year that I really want to try out. RS Drums has a new one. So I've been eyeing off Mixwave's Mike Mangini and Jay Weinberg plugins for a long time. Perhaps this year I'll bite the bullet on those and really give them a go. I really want to check out the Eloy drums from Bogren Digital. There's a few others that I'm eyeing off, but we'll see what happens. Trying to save money this year, but you know, when you own 25 drum plugins already and multiple expansions for those, I've probably got like 1,000 kits in my collection. Do I really need more? But I find them fun. So let me know what you're using. Hope you enjoyed my list. As always, please like and subscribe and enjoy indeed. Thanks, guys.